from our Lokuhle FM studios here in Bombela, Mpumalanga, giving you top stories which have been happening in South Africa, and around the world. And I promised that this is going to be a show that you are going to enjoy as I started now and today. It's the 21st of March 2025, and we know it as Human Rights Day, as we know that everyone in South Africa today, and even countries which support South Africa, they are commemorating this special day, even though it's there's nothing much to celebrate about this day. We know that in 1960, on the 21st of March, in two separate incidents in Sharpville, our citizens were massacred in that area, as well as in another incident which occurred in Langa. And we ask you today as to, do you celebrate today, or do you commemorate today as a day, or do you think that since 1960, or since the 21st of March was declared a public holiday and renamed the Human Rights Day, your rights as an individual are still protected? I say this based on when you look at incidents. To me, I don't see much has changed, because even today, living under the democratic government, we are still, or our people are still faced with the challenges which the people in Sharpville, as well as in Langa, and not to forget to mention the Marikana Massacre. Under the democratic government, they still face the very same or similar challenges. Well, imagine when you are protesting for water, or are protesting for service delivery issues in your community, you still find a situation where the democratic police are coming in to disperse the crowd using rubber bullets, and at some stage using excessive force, which finally result in the loss of life. And I say this today just to bring you into the picture, so that you understand that as much as the Sharpville massacre occurred in 1960 on the 21st of March, as well as the Langa massacre occurred in the very same month in 1960, but there are similar incidents which occurred in South Africa after the democratic dispensation in 1994, and lives were lost. Go back to in 2014, when the striking workers in mining workers in Marikana were killed at the hands of the South African police, and that is in the democratic government. And when you look at that, it was, I think, 20 years later after we've attained our independence, but we find that black life was taken in the hands of another black police. So do we draw the differences between the police force of 1960, which massacred people in Sharpville, as well as massacred people in Langa, and the democratic government which massacred people in Marikana, and any place that you might know of? But that is the question that we ask you today here at Well Focused, to say, do you see a difference? And especially when it comes to the conduct of police, when criminal acts like this that happened in Sharpville, Langa, as well as Marikana, are still massacred by at the hands of the police. And I come today just to talk about issues related to that. And my take on human rights is focusing on the right to life as a fundamental right that one needs to have in order to enjoy all the other rights that are enshrined in the Constitution. And when you look at the right to life, it's provided for in section 10 of the Constitution. It says that before you can even enjoy the right to have access to land, before you can enjoy your right to freedom of security as a person, you need to have the right to life. You first need to enjoy the right to life, because without the right to life, then there's no way in which you are going to enjoy all the other human rights which are made available, which you as a citizen, or which you as an individual is supposed to enjoy. And imagine in a situation where I am alive, or you are alive, there's no one who is permitted to take your life. And if that happens, that's why we end up seeing people facing a criminal prosecution just because they terminated your life. So the Constitution guarantees your right to life. But remember that life that you have is not an eternal life, because there will come a time where if God remembers you, that life will be taken away. But there's no human being, even the police, even the president, even the minister, no one has a right to terminate your life as that's result into what? Into criminal activities. And I come to say, when you look at, again, the incidents that I related to earlier when I started, the incident that occurred in Sharpville, in Langa, in Marikana, those incidents, the people who were massacred in those incidents, they woke up in the morning with their lives. They were alive when they woke up. They were alive. They left their families to go to wherever they were going to protest for whatever that they were protesting for. They were alive. But at the end of the day, their lives were massacred. Their lives were arbitrarily taken away from them. And imagine the pain that comes with the families of those people who lost their lives in those incidents. And we celebrate, or we commemorate Human Rights Day today, saying that there were people who were massacred in Sharpville as well as in Langa. But what about those who were massacred in Marikana, who after that commission of inquiry that looked into Marikana incidents, we still haven't had anyone having been arrested for that? Because imagine, that occurred under the democratic state of South Africa. So World Focus continues after this with the top stories for today. Don't go anywhere.
Lokuhle FM, inspiring content.
Welcome back to World Focus. The time now, it's 11 minutes after 6. And in our top stories for today, we are looking at the Deputy President